believe that any presentation that you make needs to begin and end with courtesy. One of the things that has stuck with me my entire life that my great-grandfather used to say, who only had a third-grade education, was, young lady, there are 3 phrases that will get you through where education and network will not. Please, thank you, and excuse me. So thank you very much for the opportunity to be here today. Thank you for your attention this afternoon. And without further ado, let's launch into this and have a good time. How about that? Yeah. Okay, y'all. I know that it's the end of the day, but I've been up. I traveled all the way from Atlanta. I'm excited. Yeah. When I look at you all, I'm old enough to be your auntie. And so I think that, you know, give me some enthusiasm and I'll give it back. How about that? Yeah. All right. So my life coach, Alexis Lior, says that when you stand in front of an audience, they need to leave with something that they can use. So these are not platitudes. You know how people say, work hard and it'll all work out. Well, you all work hard, you all go to class, and sometimes it doesn't work out, as evidenced by those grades that you get from those crazy professors, right? So you need a little bit more than that, right? So what I would like to do is leave you with 5 things that you can do right here, right now, whether you're broke or you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. And that is the first thing, is get there early. Wherever you're going, get there early. The second thing is, once you get there, volunteer. The third, appoint yourself to some position of authority. The fourth, refer and recommend. And then the last thing is keep your word. Let's take a moment to break those down. The first thing I said was get there early. Now, that sounds funny coming from me, because I'll be honest with you, I'm late almost everywhere I go. I can't help it. My husband sits there and he's like, but you got your shoes on and your makeup is done and your hair. Why can't we get out the door? And I'm just like, you're not a woman, honey. You just don't understand. It takes us a little longer to get it together. But seriously, folks, in those times where I have been able to get there early, it truly is. Well, no, I was about to say, you know they say the early bird gets the worm. Worms are disgusting. Let's move past that. The early bird gets to meet the people who bring things together. When you get somewhere early, you get to see the people who truly are doing the work to make anything worthwhile. And they usually need help bringing things together. You are never too important. Never too credentialed, never too successful to roll up your sleeves and help. How can I say this? Because I do it even now. Love it, love it, love it. There is not a place that I have been where I was not out there actively networking, where I did not get there early and was not totally and completely blessed by it. Case in point, last summer I attended a networking luncheon up in Buffalo by the Women in the Spotlight Going Global. And I got there early. I wish I could say on purpose, but that would be a lie. And since we're all family, I'm not going to lie to you like that. My flight got in early, so I was early, right? And they were setting up. They needed help. I sat down at the registration table and got to work. Well, what happens is people see you and they naturally gravitate toward you. When you get places early, the same questions arise when guests arrive, right? Are they boring? I mean, where's the restroom? Little questions like that, that after you answer them the first time, you can move forward and answer them no matter who it is. And how many times have you been able to say that people who have helped you, you remember their names, right? There is no mnemonic. You don't have to constantly look down at their card. You know that they helped you out. And so you've naturally created a relationship with the person because you provided value, service, help. And so when you say, do you mind if I get your card? And we maintain communications, they say, of course. And they don't pretend like they don't know you when they answer your email and when you ask for the follow-up meeting or for coffee, right? I know that some of you are like, well, that's great, but what about when I am in a situation where there are people who make a whole lot more than me and they've done all these things and I am intimidated? It's still the same. One of my mentors, Reverend Rowena Silvera, who founded a seminary in Atlanta, founded a church, very prominent person, was invited to volunteer at the Trumpet Awards. I know you all have heard of Hoodie, right? And the Dove Awards. Trumpet Awards is along the same lines in Atlanta. Anybody who is everybody is there. Well, because of Reverend Rowe's stature, they said, well, you can work back here in the administrative offices. Reverend Rowe said, no, I want to be at the registration desk because that way I can get to meet people. I didn't come here to work with and to sit with people that I already know. That kind of defeats the purpose of being here. I want to be in a place where I can help folks, where I can answer questions, where I can develop true, authentic, meaningful dialogues with people. So when I follow up later, they can say, oh yeah, I remember her. This is great. And she was able to take those relationships and develop them so that they help her with her philanthropic activities through her nonprofit. Now, will every opportunity immediately become something that you can use? No. And I would be lying to you if I said that. And it's one of the reasons that I would encourage you that no matter what you do in life, don't do it just because there's profit behind it. You need to do it because you love it. Do what you love and the money will follow. Not because you're just some good person, but because there's true passion behind it. There's authenticity behind it. There is love behind it. And people like being around people who are genuine about their work. They don't like to feel hustled. They don't like to be pandered to. The second thing I said was you volunteer, right? And so we went through that. The third thing is appoint yourself to a position of authority. Now, does anybody have any idea about that? When you arrive somewhere and there's a conference like this going on, what are some things that you can do to add value immediately? Ask questions, that's good. Take notes, and what do you do with those notes? You implement them with your life, but what can you do right here, right now? Help others. You appoint yourself the digital content manager. What do I mean by that? All of you have Twitter, right? So appoint yourself their unofficial Twitter manager. Tweet things that you hear that are good. If they don't have a hashtag, assign them one. If they don't have a Twitter account, say, hey, this is what I did for you. I've set this up for you. If they don't have a visible account, set it up for them. If they don't have a Facebook page, set it up for them. I know some of you are saying, but isn't that presumptuous? Yes, it is. But let me tell you, folks, the future favors the bold. You have no time to be fearful. Be fearless. The future favors the bold. If you continue to sit and wonder what if, and oh my gosh, and be scared, you will never see what you can do. I can say this because I've done it. I just got back from a wonderful trip to India where I was representing my nonprofit at the International Women's Conference offered by the Art of Living Foundation. And during the time that I was there, they had people who were tweeting and posting to Facebook. They had people who were serving as cameramen, and they had people who were serving as photographers. But guess whose tweets were retweeted and posts were reposted on their Facebook pages? Mine. Can you give me an idea as to why? Because they want to highlight the value that the people who attended received based on their experiences. See, it's one thing if it's your business, right? And you're the one pumping it. But if someone that attended an event that you gave, if that person is the one pumping your business, and that person is saying what a great time they had, and that person is posting the pictures, well, now you have a level of authenticity and experience that you did not have before. All things that don't cost you any money, but they do require time and therefore sweat equity. Blog about it. Now, blogs don't need to be long. I know all of you have run across people who write 2 or 3 pages. Break them up. We were talking about this during break, right? If you have something great to say and it's pretty long, break it up to 2 or 3 paragraphs, because that's all people are going to read anyway. And that's just the truth of it. The next thing that you do is you refer and you recommend. Sometimes you will get opportunities that have no value to you, but they may to someone else. Just this past week, one of the people on my team sent something to me and said, you need to pitch to this magazine. Well, it didn't really fit my space, but I knew someone who would be great for it. And I sent it to him. I said, Jesse, I think that this would be for you. One of my folks sent it to me, but I don't think that is quite right. He was so grateful that he sent me leads to 4 things that I had been trying to do. One of them was a TV producer for a show. Since I had been thinking about doing a show, that was huge for me. But that's something that would never have happened if I had not sent that to him. And recommend. Whenever you work with someone, particularly when they work for free, take the time to go to their Facebook page or post on their Twitter or their LinkedIn and talk about how great it was to work with them. What a professional they were. If they were charming, say that. If you had a little fun, do that too. A couple of weeks ago, I had an opportunity to participate in a photo shoot. And the photographer, Ojo, he is the biggest clown that ever lived. And I was just like, I don't even know how we're getting through all of these pictures because you are just hilarious. But he was able to bring out the best in everyone. And so I went to his Facebook page and I just said, Ojo is just so professional and he's charming and funny and you would really love the opportunity to work with him. And then other people started using him in their events. And he sent me an email just saying, you know, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that boost. It didn't cost me anything. It took me 5 minutes to post that. But I have a friend for life now. And so if I ever need a photographer, all I have to say is I need you to drop everything right here, right now, and just be here. Well, maybe it won't be that easy. But you understand where I'm coming from. The last thing is keep your word. Sometimes you are going to make decisions and tell people that you're going to do something. And it will be uncomfortable for you to follow through. But it is really important that you do because people are counting on you. Who did I help? Who did I mentor? Who did I talk to? And who was touched by what I did? And so the opportunity to come out here and speak to you was just amazing to me. But then I got notice that the first editor who gave me a shot in publishing in a magazine had passed away. And it was really sudden. I'm talking about on Monday, she went to the doctor and was diagnosed with cancer. Tuesday, they said it was terminal. And Wednesday, she had died. So we had no time to prepare for that. And the funeral was today. And you know, they say that funerals are for the living because you really want to take the time to get closure. Well, if that's true, then the best legacy, the best remembrance of her that I can give to her is to be here with you. Because, like I said, she gave me the start. And so what I can do is come here and give you one too. Was it hard to make that decision? Absolutely. I gave my regrets to her family, and they understood. And I don't regret it, not a moment. I've had the opportunity to sit here and watch all of you soak up everything like sponges, to be impressed by your amazing, amazing dignity, and to be inspired by you. At this point, I'm going to close and just ask you to remember the 5. Get there early, volunteer, appoint yourself to a position of authority, refer, recommend, and keep your word. Thank you, young people. I really appreciate you.